Today I have some wanderlust. Welcome back to Minecraft Exploration and Tactics, where we are on a quest for every item. And those of you who are very eagle-eyed will notice that I have 368 items currently, which is 2 more than the 366 at the end of the last episode. I've done a fair bit of work off camera since the last episode, mostly due to the fact that I was just feeling really under the weather last night and just decided to do some boring things. Like fishing. You may recall that one of the items that we didn't have yet was a clownfish, and so I just ended up with a fishing rod down in this little pool, or actually I think I moved to this little pool over here because I wasn't sure if direct sunlight made things better. Ended up fishing for like an hour, and the things I managed to catch, well, I didn't catch this and this. Pretend you didn't see those things yet. And I didn't catch the fishing rods, but I caught all of these things, including my first clownfish, so that is one of the items that I got. And the other thing is, at the end of the previous episode, we were just about to get up to level 30, and fishing gives you some experience. And so I decided I was going to go ahead and take advantage of that experience and do some enchanting. And so I came over to the enchanting table, and I managed to get an efficiency 4 silk touch pick. Hooray! And I saw a bunch of items with poor enchantments that I didn't want, and so I also got sharpness 3 on an iron sword. And while I was trying to enchant more things, I went ahead and crafted some diamond leggings, which is the other new item since last time, because I was trying to get a good enchant on them. But basically I've just been, putting things in the enchanting table and seeing if I like the enchant that's coming up. And when it's like Unbreaking 3, it's like, yeah, I'm not really willing to risk that. And so we'll try a different item. And so I've been trying the pick, the pants, the boots, and a book. And if none of those have turned out well, then I've gone and done something else. And I also went strip mining. Basically, yeah, when you're not feeling well, you just do boring activities that are easy to do. And it was profitable. I found, I think, 2 more decent-sized veins of diamonds. And with the Fortune 3 pick that we got in the previous episode, that managed to turn it into a number of diamonds, even after making the diamond pants. And so that is great. And now that I got the Silk Touch pick, I decided it's finally time to make an ender chest. And so we can start off today's episode by doing this, and then doing this. Ta-da! Ender chest! Hooray! And with the Silk Touch pick, now I can carry that around and be able to do more traveling without running out of inventory room. So I'm super happy about that. And finally, I noticed my shield is getting somewhat low, and I forget, can you just repair them like this, or do you need to do it on an anvil? You can just do that. So you can put a banner on a shield, and it will repair the shield back up to full damage, and then also make it so that the shield carries the pattern. And so, for example, right now my shield looks like this. I don't know if you knew this, by the way, in multiplayer, when you do this motion, blocking with your shield, it actually makes a sound, but only other players can hear it in multiplayer. The player who's blocking doesn't actually hear the sound. It's crazy. But in any case, I wanted to go ahead and repair the shield, and I have this banner sitting around from when I made a banner. And so I figured we would do that, and now my shield looks like this, with a white banner on it, and it's fully repaired. So that's great. With the ender chest, I am going to sort through some inventory and put some things in my ender chest to take along, but I think what I would like to do for exploring this time is go this way to the east. There's an ocean right over there, but I think I ought to be able to traverse it pretty easily with depth strider boots. And it's also the case, I'll probably brew up some more, that I could get some speed potions and possibly just swim really fast across the ocean. It might be faster than boating, it might not, I'm not sure. I'm not sure an easy way to test that in single player. But I'm curious to see just how fast speed potions plus depth strider go for getting across the ocean. So let me get some stuff together, and we will head out to do some exploring. It's probably a little too cluttered, but I've gone ahead and filled my ender chest with a few things that I might want in a pinch just to have on me, but don't need to carry around all the time. But now we can use our Silk Touch pick for the first time ever. Go ahead and break the ender chest. We can carry that along with us. And otherwise, I think I've got some reasonably good traveling inventory, and so I'm going to head out in this direction. So as we're leaving home, you may ask, Brian, what are you hoping to find on this expedition? And I'm so glad you asked, because there's a number of things that I would like to find. Now that we have a Silk Touch pick, if we find a Mega Taiga again, we could pick up Podzol. If we find a mushroom biome, we could pick up Mycelium. If we find something else, there's something else that we can pick up, I think, that we couldn't pick up before. Ice spikes, we could pick up the packed ice. And yeah, you can see with Depth Strider that basically I can move through the water just as I can on land. And so I'm curious to see if I drink a speed potion, if I end up swimming through the water even faster. So let's try it out. And it's kind of hard to tell. I feel like I'm moving pretty fast though. So I think this might be like running on land with the speed potion. And I'm not sure that it's as fast as a boat, though. Boats are pretty fast. I basically wanted to try this out to get a sense. I forgot to bring a bed. That's okay, because there are still a number of things we need to do at night. We could still try to get skeletons to shoot creepers in order to get some more music discs, which could be profitable. I could definitely afford to just fight some more monsters in any case, because that will help me get some more experience for some future enchanting, because I'd really like to get some better armor before we try to fight the Wither or the Ender Dragon. And while I'm out here, I might run into an ocean monument if we're doing a bit of traveling across the deep ocean as well. And so that could be good too. I'm kind of hoping I'll come across a desert over here so I can try to test and get a sense of how fast speed is running on flat land versus speed with Depth Strider 3 running across the ocean like I'm doing now. But I don't see a really good stretch of flat land right at the moment. Wow, there's some cool formations just on the edge of render distance over here. Across the ocean I have found a desert now, it would appear. So I just want to get a sense if I can find some flat land to run across. How fast I run with speed versus how fast I was traveling in the ocean, and it seems pretty similar, I think. But in any case, I'm happy to do some walking or running. I guess we should keep our eye out. In a desert, I might be able to find another desert pyramid. And while I did manage to branch mine up a fair bit more diamonds, I still wouldn't mind having more. Over a stack would be ideal. I would love to be able to make 2 sets of good diamond armor that I could use in different situations, and also have the opportunity to try to enchant to get some good protection enchants. Looks like perhaps this desert doesn't go very far before we run into another ocean, but an ocean could be a good thing, because both mushroom biomes and I think also the ability to transition into colder climates where we might find things like ice spikes, I think may be more likely as we cross an ocean. And so I'm running on the land here. Hello, little bunnies. You guys are tiny. Mostly because I just want to stay near the desert just in case I see a pyramid poking up over the horizon. I hadn't thought about the fact that a boat means I won't go through any hunger. I've got an entire stack of steak, so I'm not really worried about running out of it. But that still could be an advantage. And I suppose also, if I had F3, like I can see my X coordinates, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, and get a sense of the speed. And I suppose then I could get in a boat and then go sailing and see how the speed goes with that. I presume, I never really thought about it. Do speed potions affect the speed that you sail in a boat? I would guess no, but I don't actually know the answer to that. How much more time do we have in our speed potion? 3.5 minutes? I might switch to a boat, and we might be able to see if we can discern if there's a difference when we have the speed potion going versus when we don't. Alright, so I've hopped in a boat, and let me pull F3 back up. I can't immediately tell if it's normal boat speed or speedy boat speed. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I think it might be a little bit faster than just running with the Depth Strider. So it could be that the boat is advantageous even when you do have Depth Strider. And it looks like there's... Is that like a full desert over there? Let's take a look and see if this gets any bigger, if it's just a tiny island. Because I wouldn't mind finding more pyramids. And I think possibly the world is not rendering here. Hold on. Here's a quick interlude from Future Brian. That's right, I'm talking to you from the future. In real life, I would end up spending the next hour or so investigating this weird chunks not rendering phenomenon. But to go ahead and spoil the outcome, it turns out that it's not actually something interesting. I ended up doing something foolish and stupid that did something weird to the world. But it takes me a while to discover this, and I thought about just cutting out that whole bit of video where I was exploring the phenomenon, but I end up exploring a bit of the world and finding some other blocks. So I decided not to cut it all out, but I've trimmed it down to like the next 10 minutes of this video, but just so that people who start watching don't get like totally caught up in the phenomenon that I'm investigating. It turns out to have kind of a dumb explanation, and so I don't want people to get kind of built up on something that turns out to be kind of foolish. In any case, that's just a forewarning about what's going to happen over the next 10 minutes. Yeah, it's definitely the case that all of a sudden I'm reaching the edge of rendered chunks, and so I'm not sure what's up with that. Minecraft, I've tried stopping the recording and hitting escape and doing a bunch of things, and Minecraft just doesn't seem to want to render any chunks any further over here. I'm going to get out of the boat because I'm nervous about exiting the boat while I'm in the game, but you can see that there's no more world over here for whatever reason. I'm going to save and quit. Whoa, dude, indeed. I reached the edge of the earth. I'm going to go back into the world. And wow, it's still not rendering any more world over here. That's really surprising and interesting. Oh, wow, there's a mine shaft down there. Crazy. What happens if I break a block? Like here, that will cause a water update. Let me place a block on the edge. Can I place a block? I'm kind of nervous about this. Can I place a block here? I can. What is going on? I've never seen this happen before. We're in Minecraft 1.9. We're in the release version. And I'm not really sure what to think or do about this right now. Let me give it some thought. I have coordinates up on the screen because we're getting close to reaching the 1700s along the z-axis. The edge of the world still continues just to the left of me. And so I'll be curious to see if there's a corresponding edge of the world over here. Doesn't look like there's going to be, though. I think we might be getting close enough to where these things are going to change. I should have tried changing my render distance in case somehow that affects something. I can't imagine what, though. This is just the strangest bug I've ever encountered in Minecraft. Well, I should be not too quick to say that, because I've seen a lot of strange bugs in this game. But in any case, the world is continuing into the 1730s, 40s, and 50s over here. So I believe we are not encountering the same bug. Oh, wait. You have got to be kidding me. Look at this! 1776 was the number. Holy crap, is that the same number as over here? I think it might be. Let's make sure there aren't any skeletons that are going to shoot me off, because I'll be very sad if I fall into the void. It is. Wow. 1776 in both directions. I guess we could go stand on the corner. There's my coordinates. Here is the edge of the world. I have no idea how this has happened. Okay, I would really like to get back to my exploring the world to try to find the different biomes that we need and different things, but it is also important to report bugs in the game, and so I saved out a copy of the world. I just want to verify also that I can actually build out here and travel out here. Yeah, and so it's not like it's just the client isn't rendering this chunk. It's that there's really not any chunks over here anymore. Just wanted to build a little bit farther out where it would have been underground and I'd be running into blocks just to verify it. Traveling into the sunset, it just occurred to me that Kurt J. Mack has spent the last 5 years of his life trying to walk to the edge of the world in Minecraft, and he was heading west. If only he had known that if instead he headed east, he'd be able to make it to the edge of the world in a day. Who knew? Alright, even though I'm sure we've traveled that far before, I'm curious to see what happens And it looks like it might be happening already. No, the world is still generating out here. Okay, good. What happens if I try to travel to 1700 in the negative direction? Well, is the world still generating over here, or is this an edge? I feel like I'm coming up on the edge of the world over here again. Okay, let's be very careful, because I don't want to go over the edge of the world. But yeah, I think there's another edge of the world here. And it looks like it's going to be in the same place. I am going to hop out of the boat so that we can control things more precisely. Yes, look at this. And it's not exactly the same spot. This time it's negative 1760, it looks like. And it was 1776. Okay, so yeah, negative numbers being off by 16 because of the just kind of way that the numerical offsets are working. So I know, unfortunately, it was in the opposite corner of the map that I have traveled farther than this far out in previous episodes, and so there should still be like chunks generated out there. And so I think I'm going to go out to this opposite corner of the world, which is basically going to be negative x and negative z, and see if the chunk boundaries happen over there as well, or if they go farther out. Actually, are they going farther out over here already? Or was there just something weird with the ice? Maybe ice was freezing and it updated some water. I was seeing something weird over on the edge over here. Because it's going to be hard to get all the items in the world if my world is only like 2,000 blocks in each direction, and I might not be able to find a mesa or an ice spikes or different things like that. Actually, it looks like this is generating further out than the previous world border over here. This is not the episode that I expected to be recording today. I had all kinds of grand plans, but sometimes things don't quite go your way in Minecraft. You just have to roll with it. Yeah, we're definitely, it's no longer just a square edge over here. So I wonder if these are chunks that were in my render distance, because I originally, no. It's so weird. Actually, do you remember when I put my terrain generator, or my video settings, I bumped them up to 24 last episode. And 24 times 16 is nowhere near 1776. So that can't be related. Ooh, is this a mushroom biome? I might actually accomplish something that I wanted to accomplish today. I think we found a mushroom biome. We'll be able to get mycelium. All right, let me take a break from thinking about the bugs. Mushrooms! Hi, mushrooms! Let me take a break from thinking about the Minecraft bugs and go back to thinking about things I wanted to accomplish in exploration and tactics, because we have found something new. Here is a new block that I should be able to harvest with the silk touch pick. Uh-oh. Is it in my inventory? Did it just turn into dirt? Do you need a silk touch shovel instead of a silk touch pick? What happened here? Okay, that looks like mycelium. Okay. Alright, it's in my inventory. It counted. It gave me a point. Those things are working. I was really worried that nothing was going to be working. Mushroom biome. Okay, so we found it, and its coordinates are, as seen on the screen, here. And let's see, are there things I want to do in the mushroom biome? Hi, mushrooms. You can milk them with a bucket for milk. You can milk them with a bowl for mushroom stew. You can shear them to get mushrooms and turn them back into cows. It's a very versatile animal, the mushroom. And yeah, typical kind of mushroom island. Not extremely big. Covered in mycelium and both types of mushrooms. It's a biome. We can see here, biome mushroom island. It's a biome where no mobs can spawn, so you could go underground and do some caving and not have to worry about, or no natural mob spawns. If you were to find a spawner, like in an abandoned mine shaft, a cave spider spawner or something, they would still spawn out of the spawner. And you have to be careful because you get out, you be caving, and then all of a sudden you realize you start going under the ocean and mobs start spawning again. But that was cool to find. So at least I accomplished one of my goals today. And yeah, I'm still just racking my brain trying to explain the behavior that we are seeing in Minecraft today with the edge of the world over here. I was looking back at episode 4 where I did some exploring, and I couldn't immediately find a place where I brought up the coordinates to verify if I had gone as far out as I thought. However, I do see a mega taiga over here, and a mega taiga means podzol, and podzol means we have an opportunity to get another block that I wanted to grab. And I think I'm still carrying my silk touch pick. Yes, right here. And so here's some podzol. Yep, it looks like podzol on the ground. All right, great. It's a dirt variant, and now we have a piece of it. And I don't know that I need it for anything, but just in case I decide that I do, we'll grab a few pieces of it. The mycelium we can spread on our own just by putting it next to some dirt. So if I wanted to harvest some more of it, I could have some more of that. But that's at least something else that we have created. Yeah, I'm not certain if I actually traveled this far back when I first did my exploring, and so maybe it's the case that I never traveled this far out in this world, and this problem has been here all the time, and I just had not noticed it before. I'm not sure. Hey, wow, another mushroom island. This time it's connected to the continent over here, it appears, which is kind of cool. And we are in some colder biomes over here, it looks like, and so maybe I'll get lucky and be able to find some ice spikes. We have some pigs doing the moonwalk. Hello, crazy piggies. I guess they're pushing each other around. It occurred to me, when I originally generated this world, I pre-generated a bunch of terrain with my AFK terrain pre-generator, and so maybe I generated like 1,700 blocks out, and then there's the problem. After the and then, the only thing I can think of is I think I generated it back in like pre-release 1 or 2. Maybe something changed with the custom terrain generator that then broke in the release so that it no longer generates terrain, and so all I have is the chunks that I had pre-generated before. I don't remember how many chunks I had generated to start things off with my pre-generator, so this is just another random hypothesis I have. But if I was generating mostly a square area, and so if it does end up being a square area, that's at least partially suggestive that that might be the cause. Well, here's the edge of the world over here, and once again it appears to be at the same coordinates, this time negative 1760 as opposed to positive 1776. And so it's distinctly possible that this is just the terrain that I pre-generated before. Well, as much as I enjoy blaming Mojang and Minecraft for bugs in the game when there are bugs in the game, this time it's all my fault and I'm an idiot. Hello, creeper. Is there any skeleton around who wants to try to shoot you and get a record? Oh, hello. Surprised myself a little bit there. Wow, there's just creepers everywhere around here. Excitement and adventure. Yes, when I originally created this world, I had pre-generated some of the terrain with my terrain pre-generator, which I've used many times with much success. There's a creeper here. If this guy doesn't die to the fire tick, we might... Okay, he died to the fire tick. I was going to say we might be able to get a record from the skeleton up here. I pre-generated a bunch of terrain in this world, which I've done many times before with much success with my AFK terrain pre-generator, which, if I remember to do it, I'll link in this video, which is very handy for when you're starting off a new world. But I also decided to run another tool that I'd recently created for relighting chunks. And apparently I'd not vetted that tool very well, because while it does properly relight the chunks and gets rid of a bunch of chunk lighting errors that one would normally find in Minecraft, something I didn't realize that it does is it also marks all of the chunks in the region, even the ones that you haven't generated yet, as populated. So the Minecraft terrain generator gets over to those chunks that I hadn't rendered out yet when I was pre-generating the world, and it says, oh, I've already generated these chunks, there's nothing to do, even though the chunks have not been populated and they don't have any blocks in them yet. And so, basically, between 1700 and 2048, basically there's no chunks, and then everything goes back to normal because then we move into a new region file that my relighting code had never gone and touched. And yeah, I don't know how well I explain that, but in any case, it all makes sense now. I don't know offhand if and how I will be able to repair this world in order to undo that peculiar bit of damage that I did to it. But in any case, we could use the nether to simply escape outside. There's a skeleton over here who's wearing like almost full iron armor. It's got enchantments. I wonder if it's got thorns. Oh, it's got chain. Do I have my looting sword on me? I don't have my looting sword on me, and we're not even sure if looting affects this. But I do need to get chainmail. All right, he didn't drop any. And so if I see armored mobs ever wearing chainmail, I need to definitely attack them in the hopes of being able to pick up the chainmail pieces, because that's going to be another set of items that will be very hard to get in here. In any case, as I was saying, I can travel through the nether and just get farther than 2048 blocks out in the overworld, and terrain generation will be normal again. And so, yeah, there's definitely ways to get around it, even if I can't kind of repair the damage that I did in this world between the boundaries of 1760 and 2048. But in any case, I'm just happy to have an explanation for the bug now. And it also means that there's a bug in my code that I can go and fix. And so I'm happy to have found that because I'll have to talk to Obesity. It may affect his world as well. I can't remember if I relit the chunks in his world as well. And if so, it would be subject to the same bug. And so I definitely need to check that out. In any case, now that I know that, my plan is just to head back home. And so I believe I'm heading back towards 00. Yeah, more or less. So I will meet you guys back there and then decide what I want to do next in this world. Maybe build a bridge out in the nether to farther out in the world so that we can go exploring for things like ice spikes, which is something I really would like to do. I've made it back home, and even though I can't think of a reason that we would need it, I'm going to go ahead and plant some mycelium up here that will spread over onto these blocks so that if we want more mycelium, we'll have kind of a supply depot for it or whatever, as it were. And the podzol, I don't think there's any way to make that spread, so I can just put that away. I'm going to unload some inventory, and then we'll go into the nether and see if we can verify the hypothesis that if I go at least 2,000 blocks away, that things will be back to normal. Okay, I've swapped out my gear so that things are a bit more nether travel appropriate now. A little bit lighter on stuff, and my plan is to try to go about 300 blocks to the west. If we go at least 256 blocks, that should get us out into new chunks. And let's see, west is this way, which is, I think, originally towards the nether fortress was over here, if I'm remembering correctly. And so we've actually already traveled a little ways over here, because the fortress is like down there, I believe. And I might need to go down there anyway, because there's a big drop over here. But yeah, if I just travel over to where I see those crazy blazes spawned, I think that'll be pretty much where I need to go. And I've brought 10 obsidian and a flint and steel, so we could make another portal back out into the world. But anywhere past, I'm going to say 300, which when we multiply by 8 should get us out to 2,400, should be way past 2048, which is where things should start going back to normal, I believe, if I understand the bug that I've introduced. And so, oh, hello, Magma Cube. I was like, I hear a weird sound, but I didn't see that guy sneaking up on me. I still really like their sound. I'm going to try to just bridge out this way. Okay, and so we're building the portal at 273 out, it looks like. And so with luck, this will bring us out into the world. Somewhere where there actually is a world. Aha. All right, we're down at Y of 22, so I'm going to need to go back up to the surface. And I'm going to head back to the east and see if we can find the other side of the chunk border. I'm at 2180 right now. I just picked up a bucket of water, and this water is still here and flowing for some reason. I'm not sure why. I've seen this happen once or twice, and I'm not sure what causes it. I'm pretty sure if I place a torch here, yeah, the water will say, oh, hey, there's no water source. I should be updating, and update itself away. That's pretty weird. I figured out why we ended up so deep underground, and it's because I came back to the overworld in the ocean. But basically, I just dug my way up. There's a staircase down there from the bottom of the ocean, and this way is to the east. And so if we go sailing this way, I think at 2048, we should see the other side of the world border, because this side is, well, world border. The place where the world ends, because we'll be right along a region boundary over here. Yep, okay. And I'm going to hop out of the boat once again, just so that we can verify. Yes, looks like it's going to be at 2048. Okay, so I now understand what has happened to this world, and I know how we can work around it. So there's just a small region of the world where there's no chunks. Everything is just kind of all void, but we can travel through the nether in order to get past it, and then we're just back out into normal terrain back out here. And so we can continue to explore in this direction, and I think I'll do a bit of that. Actually, I'm not going to do any more exploring today, because now that I've done the editing for this episode, I realize that we're at the end of the episode, and furthermore, it's the end of episode number 12, and back in episode number 10, I asked people to guess how many items I would have at the end of episode 12, and here I am with 371 items on the scoreboard, and I was looking over the comments on episode number 10, and there were a number of close guesses, but one person guessed exactly correct. E. Smith 22015 guessed 371 items, so congratulations for guessing. And I think this format is working pretty well. And so if you'd like to, you can guess how many items I will have on the scoreboard at the end of episode 14, and leave a comment on this video with your guesses, and in a couple of episodes we'll see who guessed the closest once again. And I'm just kind of walking around so you can see all the items that I've yet to get. But yeah, I don't have a good sense of when I'm actually going to fight the dragon or the wither, or do more exploring for things like packed ice and guardian temples, and so depending upon the order that I choose to do those things, we may end up with different outcomes for how soon I'm going to be getting various blocks. But in any case, I will go ahead and sign things off for today. I hope as always that you guys are having a great day, and I look forward to seeing more of you and more exploration and tactics with Brian. Bye-bye!